us begin. Now, this goes with the time, space, and synchronic telepathic frequency indexes based on the 441 matrix. So, to explain it a little better, if you don't know, there are these grids, this grid system. It is a higher dimensional system. They all occupy the same 21 by 21 space or grid format. And so you find 3 sets of coordinates on this, and then you add up the sum of the numbers on the time, space, and synchronic matrix to find a total. And this has been mapped out by people. You can find 441 matrices where they have it already added up, although I think there's a certain kind of magic that happens when we interface and we connect and we calculate them every day. It's a form of meditation, really. Our 4th dimensional self and its ability to maintain concentration in its actions in the 3rd dimension. It's one of those practices that aids in that. I find, like, I would not be able to do this right now if I were in a certain space. Even just by contemplating the numbers, it kind of brings me to a certain meditative space in a sense. Anyways, so let us begin. And then thankfully I have Born on a Throat Chakra Day and the White Wind Guide. So to try to convey this to you folks is really something of a blessing. So let us begin. So that being said, we are going to find the coordinate for the time telepathic frequency index, the coordinate for the space telepathic frequency index, and then the coordinate for the synchronic telepathic frequency index. And the coordinate will land on something called a BMU. And I've been saying BMUs a lot, and that means base matrix unit. And essentially, that is it kind of looks like this in a sense. And those are essentially the gateways that can be opened or closed, and to access a lot of things, wisdom, energy. It's not really something that I have words to explain all the things that it does. Anyways, so let's begin. So our time coordinate, that lands, and that's based on the 13 moon calendar date, magnetic moon, silio 7. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Over here at BMU 35. And so 35, we're going to find the coordinates that are also there. So let us begin. On the time matrix, that number on that space is a 12. And part of it is that when you calculate it throughout the days, and you start to remember what it was last week, or yesterday rather, and if you know the pattern, then it's not a surprise. So 12 is the number on the time matrix. Next, for the space matrix, that number is I want to say 284. Let's double check. Yep, 284. And then our last number from the synchronic matrix is going to be a 61 on that space. And also you can, the coordinate, you would call it actually V7H1. So vertical 7, horizontal 1. Vertical 7, horizontal 1. So 284 plus 12, 296. plus 61 is 1 second. 457. Yep. All right, anyways, so that is our time telepathic frequency index for today, 457. That'll be consistent, and that every time it lands on that space, that's what the frequency is. It is a mathematical pattern. It's from what I figured, not something that humans thought up, because it's too perfect. It's beyond, especially when you look at it in vigesimal. That's 1.15 in vigesimal, BMU 35, and 457 in vigesimal is 1.2.17. So next we are going to find the space matrix BMU for 130. So bear with me a moment while I concentrate. Locate this number, which I believe is 197. Okay, so to find out the other numbers on BMU 197, so let's start with the one number that we pick automatically is 130. So that's on the space matrix. On the time matrix, that number would be 75. Okay, so we have 130 and we have 75, which brings us to 205, plus our last number, which is on the synchronic matrix, and that one would be, and I'm going like 21, 42, 63, 84, 105. So it'd be 105 minus 6, 99. Let me just double check that number. Yep. All right, so we have 99 plus 205, which is 304. Cool. 304 is our space matrix, our space telepathic frequency index for today. So we've got 457 and 304 on the board so far. Next, we are going to connect with the synchronic BMU, which is very special today because it's in the very center, almost next to 441. It's in the inner court, rather. So that's BMU 436. And now let's find the other numbers on there. So the first one is 130. On the space matrix, that is a 430. So those add up to 560. And then plus our time matrix value for today. And in that space, that is a 113. Okay, so that brings us to 673 is our synchronic telepathic frequency index for today. So now we're gonna add all those up. 472, 673, and 304. Okay. 7 plus 4, 11 plus 3, 14. I don't like saying it out loud, but I'd rather just do it in my head. I think it added up to 1433. Just double check that. Yeah, sorry, I meant to say 1434. Yeah. That's why we double check and do things twice. Do math 2 different times. Sometimes when I'm thinking about all the other numbers, I forget a number. So 1434 is our number for today. The total telepathic frequency index, master coordinating frequency, both 2 words to describe the same thing. And that is to activate that is BMU 111. Let's activate those other BMUs as well. $35. 97. 436 and 111. And then we have 134 is our kin equivalent, and that is 300 BMU 389 on the synchronic matrix. So that's a whole lot of BMUs that are activated. And so what we can do also is find the diatonic notes that those numbers are associated with. And maybe I'll find them and convert them into, just play it on the piano or something instead of doing it via my voice. But yeah, we'll find them out. Destiny Oracle. See, have I already relegated that to my short-term memory and forgotten it? Because we did it at the start. Yeah, we'll figure in the notes. So let's start out 924, BMU 42, 42 is a ray. Next we have its kin equivalent, 144 from BMU 239, which is a C. Now to the Hunapku 21 grid, we have 303, which is also a C. Maybe I'll do the lower C's. And then a 306, another ray. The guide, the wizard, which is a fa. And the antipode, 414, Allah. Then the occult, 312, higher dough. Then onto the chakra, 441, dough. The time lens, 81. BMU 324. And BMU 35, time BMU. It's a me, then a 197. Soul. Then 436. Then 111. That's a C. And then for the kin equivalent for today, 389.